I'm Jen.
And I'm Jayne.
And we're SpielMill.
And, well, people have been tagging each other for the A to Z challenge, and no one tagged us. But I guess we're new and no one knows us. So but it looked fun, so we thought we'd do it.
Yeah, and we watched two of the content creators that we really like, Covray and Box Meeples, and they did it. And so we just tagged ourselves and we decided to do it too.
You're it.
You're it. All right. And the strategy we used is, I think we just looked at our list of ranked games and we chose the highest ranked game of that letter. However, we decided we didn't want any crossover. So if Jayne picks something and she goes and that's what I picked, I have a second choice and she did the same thing. So you'll get 48-ish different games.
Yeah, so this is sort of similar to how Box Meeple did it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So do you want to go first?
Sure. For A, I picked, it was actually a really close call, Abomination.
Okay.
A is for Abomination, and that's a really spooky game where you play a Dr. Frankenstein type, and you're making a monster out of body parts and such.
That is an excellent game, and that was my backup just in case you picked my first choice, which was Aeon's End, which is one of my top 10 games. It is a co-op battling card building, it's a co-op deck building game where you're battling monsters and you're working together to try to beat the big bads. It is one of our favorite and most played games, and that's my A. My B is, to no surprise to anybody, I think, is Bunny Kingdom. Bunny Kingdom from Richard Garfield is also in my top 5 games. You are card drafting, you're passing back and forth hands of cards, and you are putting out your bunnies and trying to create contiguous territories and harvest resources like carrots and carrot crack. And I love this game so much.
Yeah, my B is Brew Crafters, which is from Dice Hate Me Games, I believe, and it's about brewing beer, and it's just really fun. It's a worker placement game. It's a little bit on the more complex level. It's like an over 3 complexity on BGG, and especially with all the expansion modules in, which make it so much better. It's so good. It has a community garden module. It has, it has a brew pub. All these different things you can add on to the game, and it's really fun. For C, this was also a very close call, but for me, it was Champions of Midgard. Anyway, Champions of Midgard is a Viking-based game where you're fighting and stuff like fighting enemies and such like that, and traveling and whatnot by ship. And also, it's really essential that you have the Valhalla expansion. So
it is indeed. My number C is Chronicles of Crime. We love this game. It's app assisted. You are solving crimes by going around to different places and looking at the clues and trying to figure out who did it. My D is actually very similar to my C, and that is Detective, a modern crime board game. We had the most fun ever playing this with our dear friend Mel. It is also an app-assisted crime game. There is a story arc to it, though. You're really following through the cases, a thread that's going to take you to solve a really big mystery. And I just love this game. We had the best time playing Detective.
And that's my favorite of the crime games too, Detective. But I chose Dinosaur Island, which of course you're building a dinosaur theme park a la Jurassic Park, and trying to keep people from being eaten. Basically is the big thing. So get as many points as you can, win the game. Really fun. Dinosaur Island. My E is one of my favorite games of all time, and that is Edge of Darkness. Love this game so much. It's got the card crafting from John DeClaire, but it's so much. The rest of the game adds in so much immersiveness for the theme. I just love it so much.
Well, that was my backup for E, in case you picked my favorite E game ever, and that is Everdell. It is a worker placement, engine building, super cute game where you're placing animals in the forest and trying to build up a tableau to build your engine. And I love this game. It's beautiful. We have a big tree that sits in the middle of the board. And I think a lot of people at first thought this is too cute to be any good, but it is good. It's a heavy, crunchy, tight worker placement game, and I love it.
It was so cute, I just had to have it.
Yes, absolutely. So my F is dropping off unnecessary articles. Feast for Odin by Uwe Rosenberg, which I almost missed because of the A in front of it, and I caught it going through the second time. Feast for Odin is probably my favorite Uwe Rosenberg game. It is also a worker placement, but it's got polyominoes that you're placing on your islands and in your area, and there's just so much going on in this game. It is a fabulous, heavy worker placement Euro game, and I love it.
Yeah, that was my choice too. So my backup is Foundations of Rome, which is a fantastic, huge presence on the table, but not complicated, huge gameplay. Really fun gameplay though, and it's just beautiful. So it's really fun to play. Foundations of Rome, nice big miniature game that isn't a nice big miniature game.
Indeed.
Well, I'm sure I trumped you on this one. My
No!
G is Gloomhaven. Yes.
Damn it, I should have gone first.
Gloomhaven, of course, being this gigantic dungeon crawl campaign game, legacy game. That is just fantastic.
My heart is broken. Yes, that would have been my G, but my second highest rated G game is another Uwe game, and that is Glass Road. It's a lighter Uwe game. It's a worker placement, but it's got this super neat rondel action or rondel element to it, and I love pretty much every Uwe game ever. So Glass Road, that's my G. My H is Heaven and Ale, a lovely worker placement that has that great mechanism. I forget what they're calling it now, where you can go as far as you want on the track, but you can't go backwards. So you've got to be really careful about how far you go. And of course you are making beer, which just right there makes it a great game, and building up your monastery board. And this is such a wonderfully fun and thematic game. We love to play this during Oktoberfest every year.
My H game is High Rise, which is a really cool game. It's got kind of a ratchet track where you're going around the city, and then you're trying to build up your high rises to be taller and taller, and something like that. Anyway, it's been a while since we played. We ordered the deluxe components on Kickstarter, so we're waiting on those. So we haven't played it in a while. But High Rise. My I is Isle of Cats, which is a fantastic game about rescuing cats from an island for some reason and putting them in baskets. And it's got card drafting and polyomino placement, and it's really, really fun.
Stop thief. You keep taking my choices.
Sorry.
That's okay. My second choice on this is really good. And I was hoping that if I went first and took Isle of Cats, you would mention Iki. Iki just got a reprint, so it's getting a lot of attention right now, which makes me really happy because we backed the first Kickstarter, and this is a hidden gem. It's been a favorite of ours for a long time. It is a worker movement game. You're going around on the rondel. You can only go so far in this one. It's not sort of like the ratchet system, but you are visiting shops in the Iki section, neighborhood of Old Tokyo, Edo, and I just love this game. There's so much to it. It's so beautiful, and it is so much fun. So that's my I, Iki. We don't have too many J games, so it's very possible that we are going to have some crossover and stealing going on here. But my J is Jupiter Rescue. This is a... Okay. okay, not yours. It is a really, really good, another hidden gem. This is a cooperative game, sort of like in the pandemic style, where you are you're robots and you're trying to rescue the humans off of a ship that's being overrun by aliens. And it's really tight and really hard to win. And I think that makes a good cooperative game. So I love this game, and I don't think it gets enough play. So that's Jupiter Rescue.
You know, Jupiter Rescue was missing from my list for some reason, but it's okay because I picked a game that is in my top 100, and that is Just One, which is a fantastic party game. You have to guess the word that based on clues that are given to you by people on little whiteboards, and the clues they give, they have to write down unique clues or they get eliminated, so you don't get to see them, and it gets really hard.
Yeah, that was my backup. That's a really good game.
My K is kind of an obscure game called King's Abbey. And this is a really, really immersive game about an abbey in the Middle Ages. And you're, basically just building out the abbey, trying to do different tasks. It's very Euro, very fun, very immersive. It's probably impossible to get now, but I really enjoy it. So.
My number K is my number K. My letter K. I'm so basic on this one, but I can't help it. It's King Domino and the King Domino family of games. They're really good. They're just really good. They're not super complex, but not every game has to be. And this game is a pleasure to play over and over and over again. It has stood the test of times. I love all the expansions. They make it better. I'm throwing Queen Domino in here as opposed to considering that as a separate queue because it's really just the same family of games. So my letter K is King Domino. My L, yeah, baby, I get to steal this one. It's Lisboa. I know this would be yours. Vidal Lacerda. It is probably the heaviest game we own or that we've played. It has a pamphlet for a play raid. It is a worker placement game. You're rebuilding Portugal after the Great Fire of some year, and it is beautiful and chunky and heavy and brain burny, and it is just a masterpiece.
Lisboa is so good, but I can't pick it, so I picked Lord of the Rings, the Rainer Knizia game, a cooperative game where you play hobbits trying to destroy the ring, the bad evil ring, the one ring to rule them all. You travel through all the different scenarios of Middle Earth, from Moria to, whatever, Helm's Deep, whatever.
Florian, yeah.
Yeah, the all the different parts of the story, and it's really, really fun, really hard, and a good challenge, and you can play it solo with people. I think it's my first exposure to cooperative board gaming, so I really love it. Lord of the Rings, Rainer Knizia.
My backup was Lord of the Rings, and I was anticipating saying Lord of the Rings, and you asked me which one, and me just going, I don't know, because they're all so good, but I really think mine was Journeys into Middle Earth.
Right.
All right.
My M, and this might be a steal, is Mystic Vale.
Totally a steal.
So this is kind of like the simplified game as opposed to Edge of Darkness, with card crafting and whatnot, and such a great, beautiful game. Just really love it. So we love Mystic Vale, love Edge of Darkness even more, just love both of them. So win-win, and my M is Mystic Vale.
All right. My M, I have two things on my list as a backup because you, of course, stole mine, and I still don't know. It's a toss-up. So I'm just going to say them both real quick, and I know that's cheating, but Micro Macro Crime City and Monikers. Monikers being one of my favorite party games. It is so much fun. It is a raucous good time every time we play it. And Micro Macro was such a creative game where we actually bought 2 copies. When Jayne was really sick, she would sit at her location, I would sit at mine, and we would kind of like help each other, like, where do you go? Where do you go? Do you see where he went? Like, go up the street. And it's maybe more of an activity than a game, but we got so much pleasure out of the first 2 versions of Micro Macro. So, I mean, I guess that's probably really my choice there.
Okay, what about your N?
My N is a steal, and it is probably Notre Dame from Stefan Feld. I mean, we play this. I know this is about the cathedral, but we play it when Notre Dame football plays every fall. We play 3 games at a time. This is one of our most played games. We know it back and forth. I love this game. It is just, I haven't gotten sick of it. And we have what, like 60, 67, 70 plays in?
Something like that.
Yeah, I love this game.
My N is my backup choice, because Notre Dame was my first choice, is, and excuse my French, Nouvelle France.
That was my backup.
And this is a wonderful, probably lesser known, I guess, block placement game with, you're scoring points, and it's sort of abstract, but it feels very immersive and thematic and very pretty. It's got snowdrifts that you add around the blocks, and it's so cool. Just love it, and we love that tactile kind of thing. So Nouvelle France is my N choice. For O, I had to pick another French game, Orléans.
You got the good half of the alphabet to go first on. You're taking all my favorites.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I
got Bunny Kingdom at least.
You got Bunny Kingdom, yeah. I wasn't going to steal Bunny Kingdom.
No, you better not. That is one case where I get it.
She's got a knife here, just in case.
What are we doing?
It's your turn to pick a letter.
Oh, well, you didn't talk about Orleans.
Okay. Orleans is a game, a back building game. And I guess it's, it's back building and kind of action selection, and it's so good. It's just a fantastic game. So definitely, if you haven't played Orleans, we have not played the famous co-op expansion yet. We do have it, but we have not played it yet.
Yep. Well, that was, of course, my choice. So my backup is One Deck Dungeon. This is one of the first games I played solo, not the first, but one of the first games I played solo and then taught to you. It's just what it sounds. It's a sort of a dungeon crawler, but it's cards, and so you're building the dungeon out of cards, and then you are leveling up your heroes so that you can fight bigger and badder monsters until you get to the bottom of the deck, and that is the boss battle. It is a really great game. It is all women, which I loved. It was the first game I saw that had all women heroes, and I remember looking at the cards, this was years ago, and just being blown away by seeing representation in a game. And so yeah, that is my number. I'm so caught up on the number thing. That's my O, One Deck Dungeon. So for my P, is Pandemic. How could it not be? We have umpteen versions of this, and to be honest, they're all just enough different that most of them we're keeping. We're not getting rid of any of them. It is the quintessential co-op game where it's just so difficult to win. It feels at first like it's super easy, and then suddenly things explode and you've got diseases popping up all over the place, trying to fly across the world to mitigate them. And it's such a good time. And I think it'd be hard pressed to pick my favorite. I think my favorite is actually Iberia. Yeah, Iberia. And yeah, that's Pandemic. That's my P.
Well, that was my backup, but my number one choice is Prehistory, which is a super awesome Euro game with really clever worker placement. And it's just really cool. It's obviously focused on prehistory as a theme, and from A Games. So check it out, Prehistory. My Q, and this is probably a steal, is Quacks of Quedlinburg. Kind of an obvious choice. We don't have a huge amount of Q games that aren't Quicks and Quinto.
Yeah.
So it was, Quacks or, something further down. I did have Queen Domino as my backup. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know what to say. Quacks is a bag builder and it's fun. Push your luck.
Yeah, it's interesting. The first time we played this, we were just like, okay, this is okay. But it's easy to get to the table, and we played it more. And the more we played it, the more we just enjoyed it. It's just so It's so satisfying. Love that push your luck. Love the bag building. It's a dopamine factory game because you're buying stuff every round and then you're trying to push your luck and take things out of your bag. This is a really good game. So that was a steal. My backup, if we had played it more, would be Quest for El Dorado, but we've only got this to the table a couple times, so it's not my Q, even though I think I probably like it better. But my Q is QE, which is also a really, really interesting and fun game. It's you're bidding on real estate and you're making your own money. So you can bid $2 billion. Just the trick is at the end of the game, you don't want to be the player that spent the most or you lose. So we had a lot of fun playing this with friends. You know, we were getting weird and writing things like, you know, $642.36 or $1,000,032 or something strange like that. But it was just fun. It was so much fun. Yeah. So it's a great game to play with friends. And that's my Q is QE. My R is a worker placement game, or a dice worker placement game. It's the first game we played, I think, where dice were your workers, and that is Rajas of the Ganges. It is a beautiful game. It has the neat element where the score tracks converge and, you know, the game is over when they pass each other. So you kind of have to have your eye on how your players are doing on both their tracks, and you can't neglect one element. Because I think your score is actually what's in between the two, right? So you could get all the way on one track, but if you don't move the other one, you're not winning. So that is my R, is Rajas of the Ganges.
Good choice. Mine R is something different. I've only actually played this once, but I really loved it so much that I made it my R, and that is Russian Railroads.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic game. We played it through one of the Gen Con online, I think.
Yep.
Just really fun. And I cannot wait to play it again so much. So, but because I only played it once, I can't say a whole lot about it, but it was really fun.
It was really good.
So, Russian Railroad. And my S game is my favorite game of all time, Spirit Island. Woo, woo. So, Spirit Island is a cooperative game where you are fighting off the colonists as they invade your island because you are spirits on the island. And that's all.
That was not my S, and it's my backup, and I knew there's no way I was going to get to say it because I just, you know, I wasn't going to steal Spirit Island from you, just like you weren't going to steal Bunny Kingdom from me. My S is Space Base from Scott Alms, and it's just a really fun game where you are purchasing pieces to your rocket ship and you're tucking them under your board, and when the dice are rolled, if you roll those dice, you produce, but so does your opponent. And so it's kind of you're trying to get, you know, as many of the spaces filled so you can produce the resources you need to get the points and win the game. And it's a really clever mechanism. I love that thing where you get something even when the other players are taking their turn. It means there's just almost no downtime in the game, and that's a really great it's a great element for a game designer to put in a game. T broke my heart. There are so many really good T games to pick. Just picking one was painful. I'm just looking down at my backup and wishing you went first, because then I could have given my backup if you chose my first one, which you probably did. So my T game is Terraforming Mars. Even though we just played a whole bunch of the T series from David Turczi, and we love those, Terraforming Mars is just top 5 game for me. The engine building aspect, the putting your tiles out on the planet. I love this game. Oh my gosh, so much. So my T is Terraforming Mars.
Well, I went with the one T game we haven't played in a while, and that is Tekkenu. And I just love the 3D tactile nature of the obelisk, the dice placement, all the different choices you can make in this game. I really love this game a lot, and I don't know. That's all I was to say. Tekkenu.
This is me looking around trying to find it because I can't find it.
You can't find it. That's.
I mean, I know it's here. It's not in storage, and I can't find it. It's not with the T's, so it's somewhere else.
Signs you do not have enough games.
We wanted to play it. It was on our 5x5, and we had to replace it because I can't find it.
Well, I'm glad I get to do you first because my you is Underwater Cities. I had a backup, but Underwater Cities is fantastic. What's there to say? It's got a cool action selection system, and you get to do all kinds of different things and build out your underwater cities plural, and it's pretty cool. So I really like Underwater Cities.
I'm just calculating that you're going to get to W first, which is... All right, so my backup is probably pretty predictable because we don't have a lot of U games and we don't play a lot of U games, but Ugly Christmas Sweaters. I really like this Christmas game so much. It's a trick-taking game, right? Yeah, just trick-taking. It's a trick-taking game where you're building ugly Christmas sweaters and you've got various criteria that you're trying to meet each round. It is so thematic for Christmas. It is fun. Really like trick-taking. And it's a U game. So
and it's a tableau builder.
It's a tableau builder, yeah. So just there's so much to love about this game. It is probably one of my favorite Christmas games. I was going to say my favorite, but I'm not sure. I'm not ready to make that declaration yet.
That was also my backup.
So. All right, great. So my V is Viticulture from Stonemaier Games. It's a game about making wine. It is worker placement. You are, going out into the field and growing grapes and building buildings that you need to make wine and then filling wine orders. And we just really love this game. Viticulture.
Yeah. Good choice. That was my number one too. So in that case, I chose Vikingar. This is a cool Viking exploration game. It's got a nice circular board. You're sailing around the world. Then you're going to try to sail to Valhalla to win the game. And, just doing all kinds of different actions. And it's really fun. I really like it. It's probably my favorite exploration-based Viking game. So.
Yeah, excellent. That was not my backup, so I forgot about it.
For W, I'm going to choose my backup for Jen's benefit, and it's Wallenstein.
Thank you, dear.
Wallenstein is a fantastic game. It has got a cool cube tower, and I would have been divorced if I had chosen the other one.
Yeah, this is true. That was my backup. So my W is Wingspan. Wingspan! I love birds so much. It's got birds. It's a beautiful game. And it's a good game too. It's not just beautiful. It's got a dice tower, birdhouse dice tower, which, oh my God. And you're building a tableau of birds in your wildlife sanctuary. So Wingspan is top for me. Tops for me. Top of W, top of list, top of my heart. My X. So we have not actually played any games that begin with X, but I did choose something. I kind of cheated just so we would have a full list and went with Search for Planet X, which is a deduction game where you're trying to find a missing planet by, each player is given some information like it is not between two dwarf stars or something like that. I don't think that's real, but, and then you are kind of getting more information until you can make a guess as to where Planet X is. It's a really clever and creative game, and I really enjoy playing this, and that's my X.
Well, it's a good thing that's your X because it's not my X. My X is a game we haven't played because I didn't have anything that we played to put down, so I said the X-Files board game, which we do have and haven't played, but I really want to play it, so I thought that would be a good choice.
That is a good choice. I thought about doing something like that too, but I went the other way.
Y was kind of not too exciting. I actually went with Yahtzee.
Okay.
No, I changed my mind already. Yellow and Yanks. Is that Yanksy and Yellow? Yellow and Yanks. Because I love Tigers and Euphrates, the original game it's based on. But we haven't played Yellow and Yanksy yet, but I know I'm going to love it. So that's my choice for Y. Yellow and Yanksy.
That is a great way to manage that. I did not choose Yahtzee. That was my backup because I chose the only other Y game we have, which is Yard Builder, which we've talked about. If you watch our top 50 roll and writes, I really love Yard Builder. I find it super zen and really enjoyable to build out my yard. This is, I mean, for me, it's not, you know, it's no Lisboa, but I love it. I love Yard Builder. So that's my why.
No, the entire game of Yard Builder is barely a portion of the player aid for Lisboa.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. And my Z is the only Z game I played, I believe, and that is Zooloretto. It's been a minute. I really enjoyed this. You're building up a zoo. The only reason I think we kind of stopped playing it because we don't really like zoos. Just the theme doesn't sit with us. We've got so many other games, but it was a good time. That was Zooloretto.
Well, I didn't have a game that I played that I really wanted to put on here. So again, I went with a game I really want to play and that we backed the Kickstarter for and is supposedly on the way soon.
Yes.
And that's Zeriwa. And this is a big miniature game with, I don't even remember the theme because it's been a while since we backed it. And we're just waiting and waiting, and they've fulfilled most of it, actually. We're just one of the ones still waiting. So
we were a late pledge.
We were a late pledge. So yeah, so Zeriwa is a very cool looking miniature game. Very excited for it. So that's my Z. We picked a number game, although I only picked one. So we might have a crossover here. I went with the Seventh Continent, which is a fantastic story-based game. I cannot wait to play this again. It's just got cool mechanism, cool kind of choose your adventure kind of gameplay, and I just really like it.
It is not a crossover because I went with 878 Vikings.
That was a good choice.
Yes, I love this game. I love Vikings. I love history. It is based on the actual historic conquest of Great Britain, which wasn't Great Britain at the time, of the Vikings. And if you've ever seen the show, The Last Kingdom, it corresponds. In fact, a lot of the characters in that TV show are also in the game. So I love this game. Even though it's, there's some like battle in it, risk style where the person with the most troops in the territory wins. It's okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I love this game.
I can't wait for the Last Kingdom board game, which is coming out. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah, so that is 50 games. 25 from me, 25 from Jayne. Yeah. So
the alphabet has 26 letters.
You're right. The alphabet does have 26. Math
so
is
that
hard.
was
I like history, not math.
54 games from Jen and Jayne. Thank you for watching, and we tag people, but nobody knows who we are. So,
all right. Let us know below what your favorite games are, A to Z.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.